Huni, his like achievements kind of speak for himself, so I'm obviously really excited to play with a world finalist.
Faker's fight comes in. Huni goes for the Mega Gnar, the triple stun. Here's the follow through. It's gonna be 2 already.
Afterwards, I was kind of sad, of course, because it's second place. Still, I think there was learn a lot.
Now Huni is teaming to the back line, gets the pillar. One more shot does him in. Huni gets his kill into Ambition.
All of the people think that I'm bad, so I need to prove I'm good.
I think this LCS split is one of the ones I'm looking forward to the most. I think overall the competition's gotten really high. I'm pretty excited to be playing with my current teammates. I think Flame had a really great split.
Ship's gonna force to dodge the aggro. All the vitals do get procced. Significant outplay out of Flame in the top lane.
Fly, I always thought he's like a player I want to play with.
On to GPM, and Fly actually comes out ahead in that one.
I'm definitely trying a lot more to have the leadership in what our team does in game as well. Overall, I'm pretty happy about who we got, and I do think we have a really great chance in Spring Split.
Hello and welcome back to the NALCS. My name is Julian Patriot Time Car, and joining me is my personal placements coach, Isaac Azael Cummings-Bentley.
Play Malzahar.
I'm trying. 0-1 so far, but runes are polished and ready to be locked in for our next game, which pits Echo Fox versus FlyQuest, which should be quite fun, given, again, we're starting to see all these teams after all these changes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for the top lane. It's going to be a good one.
Certainly the man is back on the blue side. It is Echo Fox in the top lane, Huni, jungle, Dardoch, mid lane in Fenix, bot Altec, support Adrian, and their coach in Arrow.
And loading up on the red side today, their opponents are going to be FlyQuest. In the top lane, Flame. In the jungle, Onda making his NALCS debut. Keane going to be playing mid today. Bot and support, WildTurtle and Stunt with Coach Robert Ye.
And certainly it's very hard to look at these lineups and not immediately point out the world finalist in the top lane for Echo Fox. His return back to North America, it's Huni.
Yeah, I mean, Huni has kind of made the grand tour, right? He was in Europe, he was in NA, went over to LCK, and he has been dominant in all 3 of these regions. I'm so excited for him to be back in North America because despite what Huni said, a lot of people think he sucks. I think Huni could immediately just be perhaps the best player in the entire league. I think he is at that level of a carry player especially, and he has such a unique style that has stuck with him throughout his entire career that just makes him really exciting.
Certainly comes in as probably the best top laner, at least entering the league, and he'll have a new face in the jungle. It was Rainover, of course, so much famous synergy, but Dardoch on another new team, his 4th in over 2 years of pro play. This guy likes to move around.
Yeah, he certainly does, and there's a lot of questions about how he's going to fit in with this team, how will the attitudes work together, but he certainly has a great gank lane in top.
Certainly has a good place to go. We'll see if he can start yet another redemption story against FlyQuest, who only brought back WildTurtle from the previous team.
Yeah, definitely a lot of changes. A Flame in the top lane, I think, is going to be very, very strong for them. WildTurtle talking about it. Flame, to me, was actually the best performing top laner in NA during the summer split, so he is certainly a point of power. Keane is going to be playing today, though. He is actually subbing in because of some visa issues that they are actually going through. And Onda, as well, is another player I'm very excited about. Him and Stunt have been monsters in solo queue. Stunt performed well in the NALCS, and even on the Korean solo queue ladder, Onda was right up near the very top during Worlds, so guys with a lot of potential, a lot of mechanical prowess.
One of the few rookies in this split of the NALCS, but we'll see what Champ Select has to offer. Tom Kench and Kalista banned out by Echo Fox as 2 mid laners, Zoe and Azir, taken away from Fenix. Certainly another player that's re-entering the LCS. Has played, of course, quite a lot with Dardoch, has had his time in Challenger, now back up in the LCS.
And he's always been known for his Azir. When it is in meta, even when it is not, something you're going to have to always worry about with Fenix. I think what a lot of people are going to be curious about is what Huni is going to be bringing out in the top lane, because he is such a unique player, because he goes for so many different ways, and Ornn not being banned through the early stages means we may see an early Ornn pick on either side. And if you're Echo Fox grabbing a Kog'Maw first round, you're potentially giving over that Ornn to Flame and allowing for maybe some sort of a counter pick here from Huni.
Certainly a lot of attention for ADs. Tristana and Ezreal were the last 2 bans, and Echo Fox pinched that pool once more by taking away the Kog'Maw. Turtle, of course, loves his late game carries, Tristana especially, but looks like they might actually take something a bit more aggressive here. First pick, Varus in the rotation there for FlyQuest.
Yeah, Varus definitely something we've been seeing quite a bit in the LCK, still quite a popular pick there. Has a strong laning phase. You're offering the CC a little bit more utility from that AD carry role in the mid game, and definitely something that can be quite powerful.
Kind of intriguing to see where FlyQuest go with this next pick, though. Of course, they have one more to make in their first rotation of the draft.
And Italy would make a lot of sense for Onda. It's something that he has actually played a lot, but Jarvan, something that is very powerful right now, coming out of the jungle. You can play it very heavily tank. You can go warrior into tank. You can even go full tank or more heavily into DPS type builds. But Dardoch already going for the Zac and the Ryze combo.
That was really fast
Yeah.
from Echo Fox, knowing exactly what they want for jungle and mid, so they'll select those. Keane, of course, coming up from Academy, here to play in place of Fly, who is struggling with some visa issues. He's going to go with Cassio, certainly a champion that can go toe-to-toe with the machine gun mage of Ryze.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's considered a pretty good lane matchup for Cassio, but Ryze has been so successful across all leagues in the start of this new season. Really, people with that stopwatch plus ultimate combo, it's so frustrating to deal with as an opponent, and because you can get that early on from the Masteries, you don't actually have to have a fully completed Zhonya's this season. Gives you access to it much earlier on. Obviously, Ryze also being pretty successful as far as pushing the waves, roaming, and kind of having a lot of early mid-game control.
Well, Camille and On, so top lane is starting to hit the ban list here in phase number 2. So Flame kind of hover Camille, so it certainly is a consideration. Again, two known carry players. Yes, they can be versatile as well, but known for their individual laning prowess and overall laning skills. So certainly expect to see maybe a bit more pinch here. One, maybe even two more top laners taken.
Yeah, and we did even just see that Ornn can be quite effective from the support role,
very.
right? That it is something that you can play down there. Also, melee supports in general have been extremely powerful. I actually do quite like the ban here onto Janna. Something like that can be so exceptionally powerful when paired with Kog'Maw. This hyper carry that just needs the space, the protection to be able to free fire and really take over in teamfights. So I think it's a fairly intelligent ban, especially if FlyQuest is looking to draft more engaged, right? If you're looking for something like an Alistar along with that Jarvan, you really do not want to be getting shut down by a Janna.
I think it also kind of plays to Adrian's tendencies as a player as well. Yes, also quite versatile, but did lean on Janna and Soraka, of course, in his history. Jaster was the next ban from Echo Fox, so now Gangplank will be the carry in topside, and there's a Lucian! Insta-lock Lucian.
That is Lucian top, I'm fairly certain. You know, there's almost no chance that it is going somewhere else. So this is the Huni special. This is like the last time we saw him.
This is the Huni
in
special.
the LCS was him losing on Lucian top and not working out. This is going to be Shen support, which is also very strong. And I also think is actually really intelligent alongside the Lucian. Someone who needs to play aggressively, so who needs to be kind of up in their opponent's face. Having this second line of defense, when Shen hits 6, you always have to worry about the ultimate, the Stand United coming out from the support role, which is something that a lot of players are not really used to dealing with. When you have long range engage from Zac, you can pair the Shen up very well with that. You can obviously, you know, Ryze ult the Shen and the Zac in to kind of start off these sorts of fights, but this is going to be pretty interesting because Huni is going up against this Gangplank. He needs to be effective early. Otherwise, Flame is going to outscale, is going to have more impact in the mid and late game. So certainly a lot of pressure on both junglers to either keep their laners safe or to kind of punish them on the side of Onda.
Well, last pick was Alistar there from FlyQuest, so pretty safe support and standard stuff there from Stunt.
And especially makes a lot of sense, as I said, when they're already banning out the Janna. That kind of lends you towards thinking about these sorts of supports. It's obviously very powerful to have that sort of engage against a Kog'Maw too, because while the Kog'Maw can pump out such massive amounts of damage, does not have a move block, no dash, no sorts of blinks, and can be quite susceptible to the hard engage. When you have a Varus ultimate paired up with the Alistar engage, the GP ult getting layered on top, J4 ultimate, there's a lot there to kind of lock down and eliminate this Kog'Maw, which could result in a FlyQuest teamfight win.
Certainly an interesting draft on both sides here, but I don't think I would have it any other way as Huni debuts back into the NALCS right where he left off on Lucian top.
That's just about the most Huni thing ever, right? First game of the new split. Oh, what's he going to play? Is it going to be Ornn? Is it going to be, you know, Vlad? Nope, Lucian top. Instantly Lucian top. It's airy Lucian top as well. Pretty interesting. None of the fleet footwork shenanigans. He's going all for the damage.
Yep, no pressy attack either. One's kind of maximum
that
early
guy's
lane
hyped up.
efficiency. Yeah, that guy should be hyped. As Echo Fox and FlyQuest take the stage for the first time in the 2018 season. This is going to be fun. Echo Fox are a team that when you ask people, hey, what do you think of Echo Fox's chances? They just kind of get a look of on their faces. It's so hard to tell whether they will sink or swim, but it is fun.
Hey, I mean, you gotta say, with this Echo Fox lineup, there is a tremendous amount of upside, right? It's one of the teams I think has the most variance. You know, if things are all going well, if everything meshes together, if they have that synergy, there are some very powerful carries here, especially when you're looking at the top side of the map. You know, Phoenix, Dardoch, and Huni all have a lot of ability to individually carry these games, and if they can be on the same page and really working well together, we may see that happen here today.
Well, teams are going to fan out here at level 1. Nothing super crazy happening. Again, everyone just getting some early vision. We've got 10 yellow trinkets, but none being placed just yet. It looks like Dardoch and Anda, as Anda is welcomed by Dardoch for the first time onto this stage. Again, remember, one of the few true rookies playing up against I would say a pretty intimidating opponent in Dardoch.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, Dardoch is a guy who has a lot of experience on the stage here. Anda obviously will have played against Dardoch a lot in solo queue, being someone who grinds that a lot, but it's very different stepping onto the stage for the first time. And you know, not only is he playing against Dardoch, he's playing up against guys like Huni, who are one of the most famous League players in the world. And there's a lot of pressure on Anda to keep Flame safe, to be able to perhaps punish Huni if he's really pushing in there. But if you mess that up, the game can certainly be flipped on its head.
See the early jungle starts here. Right-hand side for both. Anda on blue, Dardoch there on the red. Looks like Dardoch got a little bit of help as Altec and Adrian rush down to lane. But kind of as expected, both junglers moving from right to left, which is straight towards that top lane.
Yeah, definitely so. A lot of potential to be up there. Keane is going to be playing with Phase Rush, so this is, you know, the kind of new adaptation of Stormraider's Surge. You hit the 3 individual spells or damaging abilities, and then you're going to be able to get that big speed boost. This allows so much kiting ability, so much chase down ability from the Cassio if you can actually get in there and proc that. So certainly something that can be very powerful, but I would say it does put you at somewhat of a disadvantage in the laning phase, as it's more powerful to have, you know, something like a Summoner Spellbook for that TP and swapping around. So it's more of a late game thing.
Yep, you can see Flame still level 1, waiting on those last few CSs. Huni gets an early leg up in that lane. Same for Keane there in mid lane, although Phoenix has now dinged 2, and Flame should be there shortly. Anda, though, looking mid lane here.
Oh, and Phoenix is
Good
very
flash.
close.
Very good flash. I think as soon as he saw the flag, he's like, I'm out of here. I know exactly what that means.
I mean, it was a good flash, but a great gank from Anda. Wastes almost no time at all there. He actually procs his electrocute. He gets the flash, so he chunks him down, burns the summoner, and doesn't even have to wait to do it. And Dardoch doing a pretty cool leash here. You can do with Zach. You pull the 2 camps just to the edge of their leash range there, and you can kind of do both of them at once, so speeding up his clear a little bit more, but already a bit of an early edge here for FlyQuest. And Anda, returning to the scene of the crime, does have his flash available, so Phoenix is going to have to play so defensive, knowing that a flag and drag flash for that knockup would be there.
Does ward it out though, as Anda revisits that mid lane, so a bit of safety there as Dardoch in towards this top lane. We are expecting this a ton here, as this is diveable, depending on how they feel. Barrel goes down to Huni's double shot. Dardoch being pretty patient here.
And as long as Flame is farming, as long as he is just getting that income, getting levels, not really being super punished, he's doing great. And so far, so good for him, because it's Huni that really has the pressure to actually be able to exploit this matchup, to be able to get something done there. And it's not like he has to do it in the first couple of minutes, but you need to be getting it.
Good taunt there onto WildTurtle. Adrian doing a nice amount of damage there with Aftershock. Stunt onto Altec doing the same, but Altec is going to fire back. Stunt able to walk away.
Pretty even trade.
Yeah.
I mean, almost, I would even say, just goes FlyQuest's way. Because of how much damage Alistar does in the combo with the Aftershock, if you can get the trample proc, get the stun in, you had so much bonus damage on that swing, plus the base damage of your combos, Alistar just really pumps out a lot of early damage.
Well, just saw an Lucian there from Huni. Not so much success the last time, but of course can make up for it here in this game. Other than that, it's been pretty even. I've really enjoyed Anda's proactivity here in the early game. Again, very efficient ganks, which is always nice to see. But Huni is doing exactly what we'd expect. Pressuring Flame, like you said, if Flame can stay safe and get farm, in his eyes, he's probably going to feel like he won the lane, but the pressure should only mount as these first backs come in.
Yeah, and that's really all it is. I mean, he knows that he's going to scale. If you can just sit in lane as GP, alt other lanes, farm this out, you know, once you get to a Triforce, you're so easily clearing the waves that Lucian stops being as relevant in the 1v1, because you can kind of just make it this non-interactive lane where you can then outscale and be more relevant in team fights. So that's really what we're expecting Flame to look for. Huni, it's much more of a mid-game, early-game champion that he is playing. So you need to push the pace. You need to get big CS advantages, take down turrets, and be able to kind of force fights.
Does get some poke there in onto Flame as he TPs back to lane with a Sheen, plus I believe a Corrupting Potion. Huni takes his back, Vamp Scepter as the early item, and a second Doran's Blade, which is a pretty obvious signal.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to play aggressive. And when you go for this much lifesteal with the double Dorans plus the Vamp Scepter, you can trade aggressively. And one of the things that allows you to do is he's going to push in the wave, then trade. Even if he takes a turret shot or two, his hope is he can lifesteal back up and continue to pressure non-stop. And we're going to have to see how effective it really will be.
Ooh, calling there from Huni, chunking down
A lot of
Flame.
damage there.
Remember, no TP for Flame, does have the flash as Taunt again, lands in onto Stunt. Gonna chase back there as the Aftershocks proc. And again, just a pretty even trade. Melee support's pretty tanky here.
Very tanky, and it's hard to keep these AD carries on low health when you have the Relic Shield, when you have overheal and fleet-footed. You have so much healing, so much sustain over time, unless you're constantly pushing them down low on HP. They are going to stay pretty high up here, but Dardoch is up here. Onda is there as well.
Base check, Huni gonna get knocked up by Under Flame here, get some damage down with the Q. But no follow-up. Dardoch again just gonna casually walk around. He knows his top laner currently has that aggressive advantage.
Certainly does, and Dardoch is going to be pretty happy about the fact that he's been able to just kind of farm pretty comfortably because the scaling potential of a Zac is very, very high. So despite the fact that, you know, obviously you want to put some pressure on this Gangplank, it's not like it has to happen just yet. You know, you certainly want to get things going, but if Zac can get level 6 before Jarvan has really gotten too much done, you're going to be feeling good, and you're going to be able to look for dives. You're going to be able to kind of perhaps force those plays later on.
Dardoch mid lane. Looks for Keane. Good knock up. Knocks him back over. Trying to find a minion. Can't find one to get the slap together. Nice miasma back from Keane as Dardoch takes a bit of harass. And Keane stays calm. Just knows, hey, this is really a scary situation with my sums and ulti up. So able to get out of that one pretty cleanly.
Yep, no summoners blown. Pretty calmly played there by Keane, but it was not a very costly gank for Dardoch either. It's not as though he was sitting there camping, waiting for a long time. He jumps in, sees if something can happen as he's on the way to bot side to continue farming. So I think both junglers have played it well in the early game, applying pressure where they can, keeping their farm up, you know, getting those early levels, and honestly a pretty well-played game on both sides. But you have to always be looking at what are the comps going to do later in the game. And you know, both mages in the mid lane going to be pretty powerful. Kog'Maw obviously has a lot of late game power, so there are, you know, some kind of late game backups, I guess you would say, for Echo Fox, but still the Lucian will always be a bit of a concern.
Yeah, and it feels like it's balanced on the other side by GP there for Fly, right? Where Turtle has a bit more of an aggressive AD. So I think total scaling wise, we're pretty close to even between the two comps right now, though. We'll keep observing this lane phase. Huni, with help from Dardoch and all his pressure, up a pretty significant amount in CS, so Flame gonna have to play Kleptomancy catch-up.
I'm really looking to see what happens when Adrian gets 6, if he's going to try to make a really early Shen ult, because that can set up for a very strong dive wherever you want to go. Dardoch looks for the Elastic Slingshot. The Shen is stand united in on that, and you're setting up a 3-man play very simply. Could even be a 4-man play top if you see Fenix roaming up to the top side around that time. So certainly a lot of playmaking potential, and they're going to have to be very wary of that, as Adrian has now just hit 6. Flame expended his ultimate as well, which makes you more vulnerable for that dive, but he's looking to actually just clear out the wave and get back to base, knowing perhaps that possibility could be coming.
And I think a great point you make there is, you know, despite being a shield, Sam United is best used offensively. So certainly looking for Adrian to kind of get in there.
It's something you really want to be proactive with, because then you're choosing the exact scenario that it's going to happen. You know what the kind of situation is going to be. You know that you're going to have the extra mana. If you use it reactively, oftentimes you maybe save someone, but then that's all you get. It's a very long cooldown, especially when you're not getting those levels to get the higher ranks of it as quickly on support as you would be in top lane. So you need to be effective with it, but you also can't be scared to pull the trigger, because if you're not going to pull the trigger on those plays, you're not going to get much done.
Long range Dardoch back again, finds a minion, slaps him down, Root follows through, good ult from Keane, cleanse, no, doesn't need to cleanse, actually Root didn't last long enough as Ander roams back in, Dardoch still strong, there's the stand united from Adrian. Keane, he's going to have to try and get out of this one, Ander ultis and flashes out of the way as Adrian will miss the taunt on entry. Fenix gets out with a stopwatch ult combo, and Dardoch also still low as Stunt has roamed into the mid lane.
Yeah, definitely not the ult that they wanted there. A lot of kind of misses. Dardoch not able to land the ultimate onto Keane, but then they feel like they have to use the stand united defensively. The taunt misses, he has to flash out. So most of the playmaking is completely gone now from Adrian, and this is going to give FlyQuest a lot of confidence to start up this dragon. Very well handled again by Keane. He's been getting pressured, has not panicked, has not really even had to blow a summoner yet. And Onda has been everywhere he's needed to be so far this game.
Yeah, and moving in with the rest of his team to take this dragon. Should be able to smite it away nice and easily. Dardoch on the left side of the map, so Onda will claim the first break for his team. We did see Huni, though, as we play catch up a little, did take that first turret and get solo turret gold. So as far as what his lane wants to do, the plan is going well. But again, he still has to parlay the rest of that advantage somewhere in the mid game. It's not enough for Huni just to get all this work done on his own if he can't help his team capitalize.
Yeah, or if he wants to stay on his own, if he cannot continue to punish his opponent, right? Great, he has taken that first turret at a very fast clip. He has an early Blade of the Rune King. He is much stronger than Flame in the 1v1 right now, but he needs to continue to push the pace. He needs to continue knocking down those turrets, applying pressure, making space for his teams. And a WildTurtle with a nice try does trade flash for flash there, which can open up some opportunities, perhaps go for a repeat gank onto
Vintage Turtle, I like to call that one. Flash Parasol, not quite there as Dardoch takes down the Rift Herald. Let's see if he can make good use of that one. Taking down an extra turret. Altec and Adrian still chilling here in the bot lane. Rage Blade on the way for Altec, but not quite there. And the same for Turtle on that Varus. And again, Huni returning back to this lane. Flame is going to be casually walking back and again just trying to stay safe. And apart from that, looking down the numbers at the rest of the total CS, very even mid and bot. So we'll see who can really convert for that next bit of jungle pressure. I mean, Dardoch and Onda have both tried quite a few ganks, but no first blood's been given over just yet. And I will actually give credit to Onda here. I think he's been just a bit more effective early on.
Yeah, I really would like to see them go back towards Fenix. Now that there's no stopwatch available, now that his flash is down, you can't just stopwatch and ultimate out. So I do think that they should be actually picking on that and looking for a play. You know, Stunt has his Moby Boots, he has his flash available. Bring him up, use the GP ultimate, use the Jarvan, guarantee that first blood, and perhaps look to pressure the turret mid lane, because I think that's certainly a vulnerability right now for Echo Fox.
Fenix again playing defensively with his flash down. Total vision looking good across the river for both sides, so no surprises just there. Again, very slow pace despite the gold lead that Fox have built. 2,000 gold up, and I'm guessing most of that is actually on Huni there in the top lane.
Yeah, certainly so, and they are looking to kind of use this advantage perhaps in the jungle. Dardoch has been spotted, he doesn't know it.
Could be bad news here.
Huni's deeping in.
Nice little double root. TP's coming down for both top laners. Ult used there by Dardoch to try and move him back to the team. Altec looking to try and take down Under, and that's first blood over to the Kog'Maw Keane on the other side. As Stunt goes down to Huni, getting a little earlier on that TP. Now Altec flashes forward, slows WildTurtle with the users. Keane's trying to get out as finally he burns those summoners. Dardoch cuts him off at the pass. Keane, he's going to have to dance around this one. Stand United going into Dardoch. Fenix closes the trap. Huni looks for another kill, and Fenix going to grab it. Fox, great collapse out of pick up 3.
And they're going to be able to get this turret here on the bot side as well. Dardoch may even catch WildTurtle.
Still going, minion wave in a great spot. Slaps them together. Adrian should be able to follow up with a taunt. He gets the kill into WildTurtle, and all of a sudden, it's 4-0.
Nicely done there from Echo Fox. They're pressuring mid lane, they're pressuring bot lane. May even knock down 2 turrets here, and Huni was so fast on the teleport. No hesitation, they immediately respond as Dardoch gets jumped on. Huni arrives so much faster, and you know, Flame didn't have his TP available because of the pressure that Huni had been putting on. This is the kind of conversion they wanted from the Lucian top.
Teleporting Lucian, not exactly what you think of, but the outer ring has failed as a result. So we'll take back with that play without ASAP Predator replay.
And Dardoch actually wards over. He caught the very edge of them. And look at that immediate teleport coming in. Pretty dangerous spot for Huni, landing into the miasma, but he flashes away, gets back to the team. Onda is being knocked down as the Echo Fox bot lane is rotated around very quickly. Huni's able to pick up a kill, and then it's full-on retreat here for FlyQuest because their players were not in place fast enough. The GP could not get down fast enough, and really just better response from Echo Fox. Such a quick collapse, and they just turned around what looks like it would be a good play from FlyQuest very, very quickly.
And in general, it feels like even though it's early days for this team, the coordination, the level of coordination is pretty amazing as Dardoch just traps Turtle between those minions. Unfortunate for the Varus.
Yeah, it's hard to get away, honestly.
Oh yeah, Zach is just like...
Yeah, Zach has a lot of mobility with that maxed out slingshot. And Altec in a really good spot now. He has his Rage Blade. He's looking very strong on this one item. Huni is going to be working quickly towards a Black Cleaver. He's going to be at a very strong point. Flame's still trying to pick up that Triforce and is going to have to be very careful for quite some time now with Huni just so far ahead in gold.
But again, the total amount of map pressure they have is very tough for Fly to deal with as Dardoch summons the Rift Herald here in the bot lane. Fenix is going to try and escort these minions forward, and it's triple lane pressure right now as the Rift Herald slams in for about 40% of the turret health. And at this stage, with how well coordinated this push is by Fox, should be able to get at least one turret here.
Yeah, you'd certainly think so, or at least a lot of turret damage down, which could result in that later. And Huni, look at those trades under the turret, doing a lot of damage there to Flame. It's even hard to really get those barrel chains off because of all the attack speed Lucian has with this Blade of the Rune King. It's very easy for him to knock down those barrels. And honestly, FlyQuest need to establish their defensive vision before they can really do much else. Because look at the vision control here. The Pink Ward in a great spot over by the Wolf Pit, so Dardoch can threaten dives on either side. They need to be able to reestablish the vision control, wipe out these wards, and start kind of controlling their own jungle. Otherwise, Onda is just going to simply fall behind in experience, and their team is going to start to kind of get bled out.
Again, you can see Phoenix able to comfortably move between the lanes here. Has TPs changed? Has that, of course, after changing from Spellbook, and does have his ultimate. No Zhonya's just yet, so he can't go full on side lane Ryze, but between Huni and Phoenix kind of being in a strong spot here in the mid game, you have to think 1-3-1's on the table, and so is killing Under. The Stunt and Turtle forced to join the jungler just so he doesn't die to Huni.
And it's honestly a really nice setup with the 1-3-1, simply because you have Dardoch who can be farming out these jungle camps and threatening long-range engage on either of the side lanes, and you have the Shen sitting with the Kog'Maw in the mid lane to protect him, but who can also threaten to join either side lane at any time with the Stand United. So if you get chunked too low, if you try to pull off a jungle gank there as Onda, you have to be thinking not just about the 2v1, but about the 2v2 that could be coming with this Stand United.
And in general, the early game investment here for Fox has led to some magnificent real estate. So much of the map opened down. They take a Drake for themselves. Fly did get the first one in the mountain, but Fox able to queue another spawn and take down the Cloud. And again, you look back at that gold in, and it was, you know, a few thousand gold up before we've snowballed up to about 6,000 gold very quickly.
And Echo Fox has really played a nice game. After they were ahead with that play on the bot side, they got a really good vision line. This is starting to be kind of battled back, at least on the top side, as FlyQuest is reestablishing at least their top side vision control, knowing that as you're getting towards this 20-minute mark, you have to keep control of this area. You have to be aware of the possibility of a Baron take, especially with double AD carry. They can knock down that Baron very quickly, so it's something they're going to have to be very cognizant of as we're getting to the post 20-minute stages in the game.
But for right now, pressure able to be simply applied here by Echo Fox. And again, I am impressed with the level of coordination this team is showing early on. This is kind of a ragtag team in a lot of ways. Lots of players that haven't played too much together, some not at all, before being on this team. And for a team that everyone said has, a very, very high ceiling, but also maybe the highest opportunity to just implode in a lot of ways, things seem to be sticking together in the first 20 minutes of this game. And given how little time they've had to play, that's quite impressive.
It certainly is. I mean, it's a team that has a lot of potential to look really, really good when things are going their way. It's also a team, when you have a carry player as talented as Huni, there's so much potential for a guy like that to just take over a game if you put him in the right situation. And so far, that's what the game has looked like. I mean, he's 40 CS up. He's almost knocked down the second turret. He took the first turret solo, made a good TP play, and they're looking for another fight here in mid lane.
Stand United, Dardoch pulls Stunt back in. Ulti pop there as Turtle does get the ulti down. Kog'Maw in from Lucian's going to force a stopwatch. Under trapped for a little bit longer, but still maybe not enough. Stunt still trapped as Adrian gets low. Stunt forced to bite, but he dies to Phoenix. Now Huni on the chase there as the barrel does get taken down. Flame can't ignite it. And it's kind of a rough skirmish here in the jungle, but simple kill picked up for Fox.
Yeah, they're trying to fight over that vision control, trying to fight over the red buff, and Echo Fox able to get in there and make the collapse very quickly. They get a kill. They're able to pressure topside even more. They're pushing up mid lane. You can see that Phoenix is heading down towards the bot side. He's going to shove that in, potentially even take away the blue buff. Huni already has the red buff and will likely knock down the turret on this wave with Dardoch in his back pocket. So things looking great for Echo Fox.
Yeah, gold lead starting to tick further up, almost 8,000 gold under 20 minutes here, as there's a lot of gold to go back and spend. Fox's next move should be a very powerful one indeed.
It's really just an impressive play, and you can look at the total darkness they're walking into. They are grouped up as a three-man squad, but Dardoch is there. You see the Stand United coming through. Huni so much faster to the roam because Gangplank cannot walk through him. He has lane priority. He's going to be there first, and a lot of power coming into the top lane here. Altec able to get involved in the fight, and as Phoenix comes in, there's just really no way for FlyQuest to continue the fight. And it's just been such a textbook game for Echo Fox once they got ahead. They've done such a good job contesting vision, taking away buffs nonstop, and that is really how you, without putting yourselves at risk, extend the lead in League of Legends. Because when you have the vision control, you take away the camps, you're bleeding out their experience, you're bleeding out their gold, and you're constantly extending that lead and getting to the point where your opposing team is not only at a disadvantage because of vision, but they're just so much further behind that even if they get a good fight, it's often not going to go their way.
Yep, and that gold that they're behind is starting to convert into items. Zhonya is now completed there for Fenix, so he can have very aggressive forward side lane action. Black Cleaver, also known for Huni, and Altec's got a bundle of gold to go and spend on the Kog'Maw and finish up at least his second full item. So Baron on the table here as we just about crest over 21 minutes. And you have to think, especially with a Kog'Maw and a Ryze, I guess, given the carries that Fox have on their side, Baron is a pretty trivial objective as well.
Yeah, it certainly is. If they can control the vision, if they have that time alone on it, if too many people go to bot lane, for example, try to collapse on Fenix, they can go straight for that Baron. That's something that FlyQuest is really going to have to be aware of. And I also like some of the item pickups here for Adrian. I do think that getting the early Lucidity boots on a support Shen makes a lot of sense. The Summoner spell cooldown is actually very powerful, you know, with those taunt flashes. Obviously, having Ignite up even more is quite nice here too, but getting the early CDR allows you to move around the map more, allows you to have more impact with the face of the mountain. He's already at 20% CDR just from items, and then Ruby Sightstone is going to allow him to have those actives up more often, and very likely going to build towards a locket for a lot of added safety. You know, it's essentially a triple shielding type build that you can have for either of your AD carries. With Stand United Locket and Face of the Mountain coming through, that could be a couple thousand extra health on someone who's already so hard to take down.
Certainly a lot of extra to bring to the table as again Fox look to stretch Fly across the rift. Dardoch continuing to invade with Huni and keep vision over this left-hand side of the map. Phoenix is pretty much untouchable with that Sonya's and his ultimate ready, and Flame is still really just trying to find farm more than anything else. Catch maybe here. Damage is good, and there's Adrian going down. Can't ult himself there as Dardoch unstoppable. Uses that ulti to bring Stunt back in, but an ult from Flame. He's going to give chase for the rest of FlyQuest. Ultimate there from Under, flashed out by Altec.
Nice escape, but a good job by FlyQuest. Get a kill, delay the game a little bit. I will say it's a bit brazen for Altec to have been out on the map for this long without spending, because you have WildTurtle who's already bought. He's on 2 items. There's a lot of gold in the pocket. 2,700 gold almost in Altec's pockets, and he is going back now, so we'll complete another full item and then perhaps even a little bit more on top of that. And now they're perhaps more willing to fight, but you have to be careful about getting caught out, even if you're at a gold lead, if you haven't yet spent that gold.
And again, Adrian, a pretty good target here for Fly to choose, so strong proactive ult there from Turtle, and this one's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's just really a nice ult there from Turtle. They have the crowd control to lock him down. It is just a support kill, and quite a bit committed though. Stunt's ultimate, GP ultimate, WildTurtle ultimate. You see the J4 ultimate going down, so pretty much everything is used, but those are the kind of kills that you have to not be afraid of going for, because sometimes you will not get more than that, and you need to make sure that you eliminate someone immediately so that your opponents cannot then turn around the fight. I do think it is a smart play from FlyQuest.
Certainly is, and precious time bought for them as well as they get themselves on the scoreboard. Huni going to go back and spend some money. Phoenix just did the same. A full Seraphs now done, so 3 item Ryze also finished. And like you said, Altec certainly greedy being out that long, but has finally spent that gold as well.
Yeah, and it is going to be the locket build for Adrian, so it makes a lot of sense there. We're seeing a TP in. He's actually going to flank GP, but GP is TPing out, so it just ends up being the trade. Nice try there from Huni, but a good response from Flame. Not really advantages gained on either side.
Yep, very long flank there from Huni, but at least trades a summoner, so not too bad. And again, Fox just needs to find a little opening stunt. Does have his ultimate, gonna stun back in. We actually moved the Zac back in onto WildTurtle, is forced to flash. Going back in, pulls one back once more, but it's still stunned with the ulti ticking. Huni blows up WildTurtle, looks as he goes for the flank, and now Dardoch can try and mash 2 together. Phoenix also ulti down here. We're gonna get in onto Flame. A little scattered there for Fly as Flame is forced to flash.
And they can go straight for Baron if they want to. Now 5 men up. Huni just went past everyone. He QSS's the Varus ult with that immediate pickup he just had. Big impact already from the item. Just solos down WildTurtle, and this is going to be extremely hard for FlyQuest to contest, but they're too far behind to just let it go.
Yep, Under's going to have to try and get in there. Burn his flash after the last kill they got, so has to flag drag in, which is pretty unreliable. Dardoch's even going back around. They're going to try and get another kill. Stand United's going to look to find one, but Fox will regroup. Baron, I think, has started regenning, but not all the way.
And Altec taking a fair bit of damage. Dardoch somewhat low. FlyQuest might be able to do something here, and they have actually successfully pushed them off the Baron as WildTurtle is back up, so well handled there by FlyQuest. Dardoch not able to find the turn for the proper engage, and just ends up resulting in them having to back off.
And despite the excellent play there from Huni, not quite enough.
Posturing.
Re-engage again. Nope. Outie there as the root comes in onto Under. Flag drags away. Spirit's Refuge down from Adrian. Going to block the return damage. Huni, though, taking damage from Keane. Flashes up under the Cassio ultimate. And now Keane in a really rough spot as the rest of Fox looking to fight 4v4. Flame low. Smashed together there. Living Artillery pops his Flame. Uses that stopwatch. Altec able to take down Stunt. Under in the back with the Flame, but he can't get it as Altec gets himself a double kill. Keane too far away to do anything else. And Fox, they do find 3.
They're just too far behind to take these fights, and they're looking like they want to go right back to the Baron. There is no smite available for their team, but it's a 4v2. We'll see if FlyQuest are going to try to come over here and contest this. They do not know that it's available. I mean,
yeah, no smite on either side of Control Ward. Smack bang in the middle of the pit. And that's going to be Baron over to Fox. Finally find a trade they like. Picking up 3 kills for 1 as the ultimate up on a Phoenix. They're going to try and cut a Turtle, but ambitious perhaps on that one. Don't quite get it.
yeah, nice try to try to get the extra pick off, but they do get the Baron. They're up 11k in full control, and FlyQuest thinking perhaps some of Echo Fox has base, that they can maybe get an odd man fight. Unfortunately for them, Echo Fox is all here. Huni kind of getting soloed out on the side, but flashes in advance of that ultimate. The Petrifying Gaze not connecting, and then Altec is just too much damage for their team. FlyQuest cannot get to him. Altec's free firing in the back line. As long as the Kog'Maw is protected in a fight like that, you're not going to have much chance when you're this behind in gold.
Really well handled there. This Turtle again got the sole kill in that fight for FlyQuest on Dardoch, but still not enough to not give Baron over. Fox will take their 10,000 plus gold lead and their fresh Baron and look to really crack open these inhibitor turrets. And with this kind of comp, with the amount of triple lane pressure they're able to apply, this should be fairly straightforward as Dardoch again continuing to get aggressive.
And I just think that the builds for Echo Fox are so intelligent this game. I think that the early QSS has already paid dividends for Huni and his aggressive playstyle. When you look at a Knight's Vow picked up for Altec, you have the face of the mountain, the locket, the Shen ultimate. There's so much protection with even just those extra items onto the Kog'Maw that it's ridiculously hard to take him down. When you then add in addition the overheal shield, the Targon's relic shield, that's going to be so hard to ever take down Altec. And they've just itemized extremely intelligently. There's no real easy targets here on the Echo Fox team.
Turtle does find a route onto Dardoch, but he is the tankiest member. Stands United. He's going to come back in Altec. Now just going to let it rip. Flame does burn the ulti down into the Cog, but Altec starts to step forward as Huni finds a flank. Culling's in onto WildTurtle turret. It is low. Is going to go down. No, don't even hit it as Altec on a rampage takes down the Alistar turret. Finally going to go down. Somebody hit the turret. Keane. He's going to go down. Dardoch slaps it down to finally take it away. A double kill for Altec and more to come as Flame. Not going to go down just yet. Turtle is going to be the next one as Huni able to take him down. And that's going to be Inhibs getting cracked mid. Just rampaged by Echo Fox.
Yeah, Huni's showing us the alternate timeline where Lucian Top worked out for Immortals. He's like, this is what it was supposed to be like.
And again, certainly a strong carry player as Echo Fox actually going to go for the throat. Adrian taunts down in onto Wanda, who just gets ripped to shreds by Huni. Flame escorted in by Dardoch as Altec dominating takes down the GP. One turret likely going to fall. A Stunt goes back in only to die to the Kog'Maw. And one turret left in the way. Everyone on FlyQuest dead. And Echo Fox come out, guns literally blazing, winning their first game of the 2018 Spring Split. Hot damn, Azael, that's what I wanted to see.
Such an impressive Game 1 performance here for Echo Fox. They can be extremely happy about that one. Really everything working for them across the board. You have to say they came out with a very intelligent plan. They executed well on it. They extended their lead. They controlled vision, took away buffs, took away opportunities and options for their opponents constantly. And it just felt like after that one early game teleport from Huni down to the bot side, there was no real options for FlyQuest to come back.
And again, it's funny to look at the Echo Fox roster and see them on paper and be like, wow, the things this team could do just sound amazing. And then what happened? Carry top lane, super consistent, strong duo in mid and jungle, and then a consistent hyper carry focused bot lane. Yes, maybe the metagame is kind of floating right towards them to start off the season, but that team fired exactly as I expected.
Yeah, it was very good stuff from them. Have to say some bright spots though over on the other side.
Absolutely.
I do think that FlyQuest, obviously they are playing with a sub mid laner, so that is a bit tougher. I do think WildTurtle had a pretty strong game, and Onda looked good in the early stages. You know, this is his first NALCS stage game, so certainly time to build there for them, and hopefully the VC issues will be solved for the future. They'll have Fly back, and they can actually, you know, get going with their main squad. But definitely a tough first opponent, especially with a sub.
I think also given that you look at Flame, one of the strongest players on the team, had probably his hardest lane opponent in Huni, and so much pressure from Dardoch.
And the counter pick, right?
Yeah. It's just a lot stacked against Flame, who is, you know, probably the best member of FlyQuest early in the season.
Yeah, certainly so. But at the same time, you know, that's what you're exposing yourself to when you're willing to blind pick these solo lanes. And there's always going to be the give and take, right? If you can survive it, then the Lucian can start to look like a really silly pick later in the game. If the Lucian gets behind, he's going to be worthless. But Huni executing very, very well, and Echo Fox certainly a game to be proud of.
Any Lucian career win rate going up. 1-1 now for Huni. And like you said, the alternate time, let's certainly show. Maybe we just scrubbed the last game off. Let's pretend that one never happened.
Yeah, this is the new Lucian top that everyone can look at.
I mean, it's fun. Like, I think in general, certainly they tried something there, because even if you don't think of something like Lucian top, like Huni's a famous Riven player, another great pick against GP. Like, if you're going to blind pick GP against someone, I probably recommend not against Huni.
And honestly, I think that in this meta, there's a lot of potential for actually exploiting some of these blind pick tops. Even with the tanks that people are going for, I think that there are a lot of picks that can actually really get big advantages and kind of outgreed their opponents. So Huni is one of the players I feel like is not afraid to really go for these picks that could fall flat on their face, because he has the confidence that he can pull them off. And I'm very excited to see what he's going to do the rest of the season.
Certainly am as well. But with that, let's send it down to FLICKR and Echo Fox's top laner.
Thanks, Pappy. I am here with Echo Fox's Huni. Congratulations, you have all these people cheering on for you. Now, you marked your return to the NALCS with your signature top lane Lucian. How does it feel to have such a strong first game back?
I mean, my top Lucian is always prepared, so. No, just kidding. We actually practice a lot the top Lucian, you know, as a counter pick, and I know top Lucian is really good pick. It was sometimes just unlucky happens. So, well, I'm really happy that come back with the top Lucian, which is in NALCS, because NALCS I played top Lucian for first, and then I kind of dropped down the game, but still, I proved that I'm really good, and also I got better, and it's really nice to see you guys again.
So with that, you obviously have a lot of fans in the crowd. What's it like to be back in NA? What does that mean to you?
I'm pretty sure like they like us, they like me. So, yeah. Yeah, I love your fans too, you know?
And tell me a little bit about your new team. What's your guys' play style and how are you guys getting along?
As you guys know that, you know, Echo Fox is seems really aggressive, and all laner has like really ego a lot. So it's gonna be, you know, if we win just get one streak, then we're not gonna lose. You know, it's gonna be unbeatable, the Echo Fox. And also my teammates are really nice guys than I expected.
So tell me, is this the roster that Echo Fox is finally gonna make playoffs with?
I'm pretty sure we're gonna be at least F playoff, and also that my goal is gonna be NALCS winner, because last time I failed it, which is the NA reason is just only that I failed the reason, and also I really want to go MSI to see my former teams.
Well, Huni, I wish you the best of luck with your goals, and thank you so much for this interview. We're gonna throw it over to our friends at the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Avli. I love seeing him back here in North America. I mean,
he's ours now.
What a personality. Yeah, please, nobody can have him anymore. Too many changes. And so fitting for him to return on Lucian, of all picks. Lucian in the top lane, it was part of why, you know, he didn't get that title that he was just talking about looking for this time around. But Lucian in this meta, why did it work this time around as opposed to the last time he brought it out here in North America?
I mean, it's a very good meta for carry tops generally, not just specifically Lucian. Things like the, you see GP being played, you see Vladimir's and all this stuff because you get a lot of tankiness in the support and jungle positions. Usually the mids have plenty of magic damage right now, so top can be kind of whatever you really want. It's kind of the X factor in the draft right now.
Yeah, and you look at his runes as well. These are more like the runes you saw at the very beginning of preseasons from AD carries, where they're looking to bully the lane. Specifically, Airy and Scorch, very quick in and out runes, and then he spams to shove the wave with the Monoflow Band. Then he still gets a little bit of attack speed in there at the end and has the modern move with the overheal. So it's still, if you're going to do it, like, it's not one of these don't try this at home. Like, you can try this at home if you want to. Well, and to your point, with this aggression, we saw the turret falling in the top lane right around that 10-minute mark. So getting a lot of work done, not only in a CS advantage, which was built up to about 30, but also knocking down that turret.
Yeah, I mean, even specifically against GP, it does a lot of things very well. You can kill the barrels very easily with the double tap. No mobility backline means culling is very effective versus these guys. Both Cassio, GP, and Varus can't really get out of a Lucian once he gets in range. They have no mobility. So Lucian can play, like you said, that more in and out style here.
Yeah. Right, so, go for it. You have something you want to add?
Well, I was just going to say, it shows you it's the type of pick that Huni can pull out. Other people could do it, but specifically Huni is going to be better at it.
Okay, that's where I wanted to get, right? Because we've seen now one game of evidence where it was successful. We've talked a little bit about why theoretically Lucian as a pick should be viable in the top lane. But should anyone other than Huni play it? Should anyone else be bringing this out?
I think people who have a similar like carry mindset as him, I wouldn't mind seeing it. Like even Flame himself is known to pick a lot of bullies. I just personally love it here because he's going up against Rapidstar, his old coach in SKT just last year, and he kind of gets to pull this out. And I'm sure they had a lot of arguments about what should be played in the top lane, and he finally gets to kind of prove it to him.
And specifically, if you are red side against Echo Fox, do not blind your top laner. Huni is going to be the best guy at counterpicking top lane. I remember when he was last in the NALCS and Cho'Gath top was meta, he played Quinn, was up ADCS to 40 and took the turret. The same way, he just knows more counter matchups than anyone else.
Right, FlyQuest kind of took the bullet for the rest of the teams in the North American LCS in that regard. We'll see if the rest of the teams can learn from that mistake and knock Echo Fox down a peg. Either way, 1-0 start for Echo Fox and Huni. We're stepping away for a quick break. When we come back, it's Counter Logic Gaming versus Cloud9. Don't touch that browser.
Welcome to State Farm Assist of the Week. At Worlds 2017, TSM began their group stage run with a tough match against Flash Wolves that swung back and forth. While Flash Wolves were defending their base from relentless assault, Haunter hulked into Meganar just as the entire Flash Wolves team moved dangerously close to the wall. The resulting 5-man stun allowed TSM to crack open an inhibitor and almost finish the game right there.